Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I am so excited that I have a really fun guest, the Honorable Evelyn Laporte, retired judge to the New York State Supreme Court. And she is just such a personality. I had to have her on Care Sandwich because you'll see in a second that she is just full of energy, light, and lots of inspiration. But first, check out this video.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
What a treat. We are recording today. It's Halloween, one of my favorite holidays because it's just so much fun and full of creativity. And we have a really fun guest who's also full of fun and creativity. Welcome to the virtual stage, Honorable Evelyn Laporte.
Thank you, Margarita, for the invitation, for allowing me to share with you, with your audience, your stage this afternoon. I am honored.
So I am excited to have you because I met you at in New Orleans at a Women in Leadership conference. And every time you came to the stage, there was just a lot of emotion. And I think, sometimes there were happy tears and inspiration and just a lot of fun. And so you do so much. There's so much depth to you, your career, what you offer. Today, I want to talk about the coaching program that you have specifically because a lot of the law firm owners that I talk to and that I meet with, I think really benefit from those types of things. And I feel like somebody with your background understands their plight so well because that was you at some point. So talk to us about your journey from being a lawyer to a judge to now the owner of the Confident Edge, or the CEO, founder and CEO of Own Your Confident Edge.
Well, I am excited to share my journey all the way to the bench with you and your audience, and I am very excited. And I'm just going to very quickly, because I don't have that much time, and when I start talking, I don't want to finish.
That's why we have you here.
I want to tell everybody that when I was growing up, I was very shy, very shy. You will go in a room and you will not realize that I was there. What a big difference, right? And I'm going to tell you how I got here. However, when I came to the United States, my goal was to become a flight attendant. I never had the plans of becoming a lawyer. The lawyer happened later on, but I wanted it to be a flight attendant. I didn't know any English. Remember, Puerto Rico, we speak Spanish as a first language, and I wasn't hired. So I wasn't able to fulfill my dream. And I went back to school to learn English so I could fly around the world. And in the meantime, while I was on my journey learning the English language, so I could go after my dream, I came across some legal courses in school. And let me tell you, my journey to learn English while attending college was a very painful one. Was not fun at all. Many times I was confused. I was disappointed. I failed so many times. I failed courses, grades. I was put on academic probation. But one thing, Margarita, that I was never able to come to terms, and it was to give up. I don't know why, but I wasn't
Love
able
that.
to give up because I said to myself, if I don't do this, I have to do something else. So I may as well stick with this. And then I will be able to see my dream fulfilled. And I studied as hard as I could. I didn't never had a mentor, never had a coach. I didn't know about a mentor coach until about 10 years ago. So I was doing everything on my own. And remember, at that time when I was going to college and even law school, it was no Google, it was not internet, it was not AI, it was none of those resources that most people have available this time for the past 10 years. Nevertheless, I was determined that I was going to do something, learn the language so I could become a flight attendant. Then, in the middle of my journey in college, all disappointed, many times I was depressed, not knowing what to do, uncertain, not having any guidance. I decided that I was going to go to law school, very bold. I share it with my family, and they were against it because they said, you don't know any English, you don't have any money, and you don't know anyone that could help you. How you gonna how you gonna do it? And the more excuses they gave me, the more I was determined to go to law school. And let me tell you, I have no money, I have no guidance, I have no coaching, I have no information, I have no knowledge as to how I was gonna do this. Once again, when you want something, Margarita, and you desire something, you just look the way on how to get it. I cannot explain exactly how many things I have to do, but it was done. And then after graduating from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, which I was put on academic probation, I finished my bachelor's degree. And also, I completed my master's degree in criminal justice. I was able to go and attend law school. Law school was another dilemma, another drama, no money. I was put on food stamp at one point because to supplement my income. And let me tell you, while I was attending college, I was working during the day in order to support myself and help support my family back home. And at some point, at times I was employed, at time I was out of a job. At one point I was on public assistance welfare and collecting also food stamps. And at times I had no income, but I survived, Margarita, because I prayed. And my passion and my commitment was to do something, to become someone so I could help my family. I was doing it more for my family back home who helped me become the person that I am today. So I wanted it to give back to them. And I come from a very humble beginning. My father is sugarcane worker all his life. My mother cleaned houses for rich people in the city, and they were able to support a family. I grew up without a TV, without a telephone. I didn't, the refrigerator came to my life when I was 12, 13 years of age. So I grew up with mostly none of the things that most people have today date. But that is to show that what you where you come from doesn't determine what you're gonna,
Amen.
you know. So it's and today, and no offense to anyone, but today I see that a lot of professional, a lot of students, a lot of people have a lot of things to their disposal, and they don't do much with it. And I am amazed to to not to understand why people don't do more with what they have. But that is for another show. Now I see myself, find myself in college. I mean, in law school. I was also very difficult because I was still dealing with the English language. And not only was I still learning regular English, but I have to learn another language, which was the legal language. And it was very difficult. Once again, I failed, but I was able to graduate and make up, and I graduated one semester earlier. I did my completed my internship. Then to deal with the a New York State bar was a nightmare. I was so petrified coming back because I went to law school in Washington, D.C., coming back to New York and faced the New York State bar, which was considered one of the hardest in the country. And and listening to other of my colleagues, talking about how many people fails that exam, I said to myself, I'm never going to be able to pass it, but I'm going to take it. What do I have to lose? I'm still going to take it. And I took it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't pass the first time and I didn't pass the second time. It took me a number of time for me to pass it. And let me tell you, when I was taking that test, I had to read the test in English, translate it in my mind into Spanish, then translate it back into English in order for me to understand what they were asking and for me to understand what I was going to answer. So it was a process that I had to go through. But nevertheless, hey, listen. There was a time when I was victorious and I passed the bar and I became an attorney, and the rest is history. Since I became an attorney, I have never been unemployed as an attorney. I practiced in family court, landlord and tenant. I was a prosecutor, prosecuting high-profile cases in the district attorney's office for 12 years of domestic abuse. I was also handpicked by the Department of Justice to train police department and law enforcement personnel, not only in New York City, but also in Panama, Puerto Rico, Chile, and El Salvador. So that was really an exciting time of my career. In addition to that, I also became a public speaker. I learned how to speak in public. Remember when I told you that I was very shy? Now you cannot turn me off. I'm
I
like,
love it.
you cannot turn me off. I want to share with the world all my experiences or all my journey, because I want people to know that no matter the challenge, no matter the hard times, no matter how much you're faced with, your struggles, your stress, depression, disappointment, lack of money, you have the potential to be whatever you want. You stick with it, believe in yourself, and the sky will have no limits. So when I became a lawyer, I got practice all those in those different fields. I was in the DA's office for 12 years, and then I felt that I wanted something different. I wanted something more, and I decided to run for judge in 2004. There were 15 people running. I was the number 16, the only person of color. Everybody was Caucasian. Excuse me. And the statistics and the rumors were that I had no chance. One, because some people say that I was too dark to be Puerto Rican.
And you're
Some
like,
people say
watch me.
that I was not black enough to be black, that I spoke with an accent, that I didn't have any money, that I was too short, my hair was too light. I mean, they gave me a bunch of excuses, and I did not get any support from the politicians, so I have to run a grassroots campaign. It was very tiring. It was very, lot of work. And at times, once again, Margarita, I felt disappointed. I felt lonely many times because I didn't get the support that other people were getting. And, sometimes people talk and they say, she's not going to make it. She's not going to do it. She's not good. She's not this. She's not that. But many times, sometimes you have to close your eyes to all those negative thoughts and negative comments and concentrate on what you want. Because at the end of the day, you are the person that is most important in your life. I believe in myself that I could do it. And even without any money, any support, a lot of work, a lot of disappointments, a lot of stress, a lot of crying, a lot of praying, I was able to secure the first seat. There were 3 seats. I took the first seat. The person that wasn't supposed to win at all, I took the first seat. A lot of people cannot explain it, but I can. God has always been my leader, my guidance, and my supporter. And when you believe in what you're doing, when you believe and you put all your energy in what you want, there is nothing that can stop you. So I got my position, civil court judge and I was elected for a period of 10 years. And then in 2015, I ran again for the same position and I was elected. And then in Supreme Court, there were 4 positions that were available, and I ran for one of those and I got it. So, what can I tell you? I am happy with my accomplishments, and I think that there is nothing in this world that you cannot accomplish, as I said, if you put your mind to it. And you have to close your eyes to those people that don't believe in yourself. But before you look for support and people to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself. You have to do the work. You have to be patient. You have to be courageous. You have to always educate yourself as to how can you do better. Right now, I retired in 2024, last year. I retired after 19 years on the bench. And I was very excited to serve in the New York State Supreme Court and New York State Courts as a judge. But then I retired, and now I created a program that is called Own Your Confident Edge. And it's a program that is created for professional women of color. And I love to work with professional women of color, especially attorneys, because Margarita, as I said before, I was shy. Many times I didn't believe in myself. Many times I thought I wasn't be able to do it. Many times I allowed people to push me, to use me, abuse me, do anything they wanted with me because I was not strong enough to stand by myself and to stand by and set some boundaries. But when I started doing that, sweetie, when I started believing in myself, setting boundaries, telling people who I was, how I wanted to be, respected and addressed, everything changed. Everything changed. And this is the end result of it. People don't push me around anymore. People give me their respect. I am well thought of in the legal field. And right now with my new program, I want women of color not to go into a room and just be there. I want them to own the room. I wanted it to.
How can they find you if they want to learn more about your program?
Okay, they could find me at www.ownyourconfidentedge.
Okay.
And also my email, excuse me, is info@ownyourconfidentedge.com. And if you cannot remember any of those words or the name of my program, you just put Google Honorable Evelyn Laporte and it will come up. You will be able to find me anywhere you want to. So thank you so much. And I'm ready for some questions if anyone has questions.
Yeah, no, just one more question and by the way, every time I hear you speak, I get so emotional because I can relate so much to your story. And it's just a lot. So pardon if I am having trouble finding words because I'm just like feeling so many feelings. I love hearing you speak. One more question, and it's, what is your favorite sandwich? Because it's called like you answered all my questions in the one question. So this is great. You've been the easiest interview ever, by the way, in the history of the Hair Sandwich podcast. And the last question is, what's your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich is tuna fish sandwich.
That's random. Tuna
Yeah,
fish?
I love tuna fish. I usually don't eat but tuna fish is my favorite. I could eat it all day long, anytime, with a lot of mayonnaise and
Oh my God.
onions and everything else you want to put in it.
That sounds delicious. So there you have it, folks. The Honorable Evelyn Laporte. You can reach out to her. Just Google her. You can't miss her. You see, she's just got so much to offer. If you're an attorney in the legal field, Own Your Own Confident Edge is a definite resource that you should check out. And is there anything else before we sign off? I feel like you have something else that you want to say. I want to give you one more.
Yes, I just want to share with my women of color that sometimes we are afraid to show who exactly we are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Many times for a long time, I tried to be someone else. Every time I went to work in a new office, they wanted me to be somebody else. But I felt like a fake. I wasn't performing. Once I decided that I was going to be myself, look like myself, sound like myself, I went after everything that I wanted and I got it. There are so many opportunities that you could go after it out there. And listen, if they don't give you a seat at the table, you create your own table. That's the bottom line.
Amen. I can relate. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. For those of you that have tuned in, I hope you've enjoyed this treat as much as I have. I feel like this was a therapy session. Thank you so much. For those of you that have tuned in, make sure that you get the episode. It's going to be uploaded to Spotify and all the podcast channels later on. Right now it's being streamed live, and listen to it once, twice, thrice, because this was gold. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
And thank you for the invitation. I love it. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.